Now, when extruding the arms, there are several different ways of doing that. You can just grab the polygon surfaces and go up here to the extrude tool and begin bringing them out and shaping them that way. But that's not actually my favorite way of doing it. So there's a little extra work involved in getting the initial shape. So what I like to do is just create, top view down, create another cylinder, and just put it up, face front, and we will get a little bit longer, maybe give it one more for the hand. And I'm paying attention to this arm outlined in white rather than this arm because this one appears to be foreshortened. It's a little too short. So I want to make sure that my hand and all of my arm pieces are accounted for. Let's make that a little bit longer. It's going to also encompass all of the shoulder muscles from the clavicle out to the upper arm there. So when I have one that I'm fairly happy with, I will make sure that it has the number of sides that I want. Since I plan on inserting it into this area where the two polygons here are, and that would end up being 6 sides, so I want to make sure that my arm begins at 6 sides. Additionally, I want to make sure that the points are matching, so I can see that if I go back to my polygon object, select the polygons that I want to have my arm replace, I can see that for point now there are going to be knots available for that. So back to front view, actually top view. What I want to do is first of all give myself a bit of a neck before I delete the polygons. Let's see, I'm going to edge faces. Holding the shift key down, it allows me to select that entire edge loop. Alright, so let's try that again. I'm going to extrude those in. Give myself a bit of a neck before I delete the faces here. So now that I have my polygons, I'm going to go ahead and delete these faces, and I'm going to also, on this particular object, I'm going to convert that to editable poly and get rid of the n-gons on the both sides there. Those are no use to us. Delete. Delete. Okay. Front view, C for zoom. Now I'm going to rotate this object. Alright. And move that up there. And just bring it right out here a little ways. And determine if that's going to be... Okay, I'm going to scale this down just a little bit, make it a little narrower. Alright, now that I have that, I'm going to select my original object, and I'm going to go down here to the Edit Geometry, roll out, attach, and select on the arm. Now that made that one object, I can select the edges. Just a bit of a twist there also. So, gave me a lot of extra edge loops in there, and I don't want that. So what I'll do is open the bridge settings and dial that down to 2. I think that's fine. And click OK. And now I'm going to want to take some time to shape up this shoulder, make sure that it's what I want for my arm. Now I have a tendency of using the T-pose as a base rather than down to the sides, because I like to have this arm out so I can get good topology arrangement on the armpit area as well. So I'm going to go ahead and model that how I like it and just use this as reference going forward. Alright, when I get this shaped up, I'm just going to be pulling verts and getting this all shaped up. This is a little bit more tedious in the lower geometry because it's just a couple verts at a time. Another thing that you can try, though, it works very well for a little bit heavier geometry, is if you select a number of verts on here and go into your modify panel and select on the FFD boxes. There are a number of different presets here, 2x2x2, 3s and 4s, but I like to just select on the FFD box itself, because then you can go in and under dimensions you can actually dial it up or down for yourself, determine how many you want to work with. This is like lattice in Maya, and it's a very powerful tool for managing verts. It's kind of like soft select, but it affects, you know, the entire area, and it helps to maintain the edges that you don't want to affect either. So when I get more of this completed, I will come back and show you. Alright, so now that I have my shoulder a little straightened out there, I can go ahead and start shaping my arm. I'm going to first go in here and flatten out my hand. This is going to be my hand. So I'll go ahead and flatten that out. Left for front. And this will be my elbow area, so that'll be a little narrower. And my forearm area. Top view can also help you to pull this into a little bit more perspective there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is make sure that I have reference for top down as well, so that I can get my arm the way that I want it and my hand the way that I want it. So just go back and put in a visual reference as you need it to make sure that you are getting what you need for your model. Alright, so basic arm and hand here. It doesn't have nearly enough edge loops in there to get the shape going on that I want, but for the time being, this will show you how you can get started in there. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the hand.